last time I filmed in front of the bookshelves. You guys really loved it, so we're back. Hopefully it's not too noisy outside. It is like lunch rush hour, so there's a lot of cars, but today we're going to be talking about 9 out of the 10 books that I read in March. The 10th book that I'm not talking about, it is published by St. Martin's, and I believe the boycott's still going on, so if you want to see my review, I did a reading vlog for it, but it's over on the Patreon, which, speaking of, before we hop in, if you're looking for more ASMR content from me, gotta shout out to Patreon, and I do my ASMR book club over there. Every month we read one romance book together that you decide. And for April, we are actually reading The 7-Year Slip. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Boston. So if you want to read this with us this month, definitely join the Patreon, join the book club bestie tier. And without further ado, let's talk about the 9 books I read in March. I was gonna say April. In March. First, I read not one, but 2 books in the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. I'm just slowly making my way through all of her books. One of my favorite romance authors. So, this is the 2nd book in the series. They're all interconnected standalones, so you can read any of them in any order, but this is the 2nd one, so I read it second. It is a photo finish. This follows Violet and Cole, who previously met online in like a spicy chat room, and then it ends up that she's like working, or like her best friend is working with him, and yeah, there's like forced proximity. Violet is a horse trainer, so you get like a lot of horse vibes in this series. It's very, very like small town Canada cowboy, and they're fun. But I gave this book in particular a 3-star. I thought it was fun. It was cute. I mean, Elsie Silver can do no wrong in my eyes, but Cole as a hero, Cole as a hero kind of gave me a little bit of an ick. Like, some of the stuff he said just like doesn't work for me in a romance, and that's it. So I ended up giving it a 3-star. Like, when they were talking in the chat rooms, like, there's just no way. Like, he didn't really give anything. Like, Violet was just carrying all the conversations, and it's like, if it was me, I would have stopped responding to his ass like so fast. I don't know. I just felt like Cole was not my type of hero, but overall, still a really fun read, and I loved seeing Violet, because Violet is Violet Eaton. She's the sister of the Eaton brothers, who that's what the Chestnut Springs books follow, so it was cool, like, seeing Violet's romance, because I've seen so much of her and Cole in the other series, but so that was a photo finish. Again, 3 stars. And then I went straight into book number 3. The Front Runner. This one follows Mira and Stefan. Mira is a vet, and so she's doing a lot of help with a bunch of different horse racing companies, like checking on their horses, keeping up with them. And Stefan is kind of like the anti-hero in the series. He's kind of like a villain. In the first 2 books, you see him like as a side character. Mira is kind of like the bridge bridge between Gold Rush Ranch and Stefan, and you get to see like Stefan's kind of redemption arc, I guess. But I loved it. I loved Stefan. I loved Mira. I thought it was great. I love this, like, he falls first, and it's supposed to be fake dating, but it's more just like secret dating. Like, he is obsessed with Mira, and the whole time that she's like helping, working on the horses, he's always flirting with her and like trying to get her to go on dates with him, but she doesn't want to because she knows like her best friends, Billy and the other girls from Gold Rush Ranch, they hate Stefan. They don't like him, so it's not really fake dating. I would say it's more like secret dating. They have to like date behind her friends' backs, I guess. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I just docked 1 star because there were some elements in the spicy scenes that I didn't love personally. But again, not every kink and not everything is gonna work for everybody. But I loved the banter. I even had to tab this book because there were just so many moments that made me laugh. Like, Mira and Stefan are so funny. So definitely my favorite couple of the Gold Rush Ranch books so far is book number 3. But I will be reading the 4th and final book in April, so stay tuned. I have really high expectations. Okay, now let's talk about the 2 books I don't have a physical copy. So first is a novella that I read on my Kindle. We can do some Kindle tapping. The novella is The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. So it's a short romance novella about these 2 college students who end up accidentally like emailing each other, and they just start like emailing each other every year, and then it grows to a friendship, you know. But it's a novella, so it was like 150 pages or something, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but I feel like Christina Lauren really managed to pack quite a punch with this little novella. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was cute. I think I just docked a star because like we didn't get a full spice scene, which I feel like, why not just like throw it in there? It was a fade to black, which I feel like for a novella, like you might as well give me some, you know. And obviously, like, it's just, I don't know if a novella could ever really give me that like 5-star feeling, but it was good. And there's a bunch of other novellas like in this same little series. Like a bunch of romance authors did different novellas, so I might read some of the other ones in the future, but 4 stars. And I listened to an audiobook on Everhand, and it is Hey On by Emily Lynn Paulson. It's a memoir about this woman's experience in an MLM, multi-level marketing scam company, and she was one of like the top earners of this MLM that she joined, and she just talks about her experience. And I definitely think that we need to see more like MLM centered nonfiction, especially like memoirs, like people sharing their stories. But I ended up giving it a 3-star. It was just average. I think a lot of it ended up just being like, I don't know, a bunch of, oh, my friend of a friend of a friend joined this MLM, and that ties in. Like, I don't think it was based in much like true evidence. And then the personal experience that we did get from her, like, I don't think she shared enough. She kind of felt like reserved a little bit. I don't know. It was interesting. And then by the end, it kind of just turned into the author pitching her like sobriety coaching programs, and I feel like doing like an anti-MLM book to, in a way, like just sell your own company is a little bit like cringe, but I gave it 3 stars. Okay, now we can go back to the physical books, and we're gonna go best to worst. So the next book that I read is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the really say anything about the plot or what's going on in this book because we're so far in, but it follows Oak and Ren. And I loved the first book, The Stolen Heir. I gave it like 4.75. This I gave 4 stars. I think it is definitely my least favorite book like in the series thus far. I just think the ending, like Holly Black is known for like a really amazing twist at the end, like something that just like shocks you, like the stakes are so high even for YA fantasy. And I feel like this book had like a little bit of an anticlimactic ending to me. And yeah, I kind of just didn't think it was like as amazing as the other books, but it was still so fun. I dabbed so much. I can show you my key because it's quite simple. I have a tab for Oak and Ren moments, a tab for Jude and Garden moments, some plot / foreshadowing, and then anything else. But as you can see, the Jude Garden is like the maroon tabs, and there's a lot of Jude Garden moments in here. So for the Jude Garden girlies, I definitely recommend reading this duology. But that's The Prisoner's Throne. Next, this was a nice surprise. I randomly ended up putting this on my TBR, thanks to my TBR jar. Like, I filmed a video for my vlog channel, and it is Ivy by Will and Ash, but it's actually been republished with a new cover, new title. So it's actually called Clarence Manor by Devaney Perry. So this is like the original self-published edition I bought like forever ago, but I ended up reading it on my Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited under Clarence Manor. So I don't even know how to explain this book. I went into this blind, but it's very like Pretty Little Liars meets Gossip Girl with like 3 different romances. But basically this follows a girl named Cassia who moves into Clarence Manor, this really nice house for this really prestigious school, and her 2 roommates are 2 girls named Ivy and Elora, and they kind of start attempting to make her life hell while each simultaneously like going on their own storylines with their own romances, but they're all kind of connected, and there's like secrets and stuff is revealed, and it was good. It was fun. It definitely did not go in the directions that I thought it was gonna go, but I ended up giving it 4 stars. I just feel like I didn't get connected to any of the 3 couples like enough for that 5-star. But my favorite is definitely Elora and Zane. I think they carried this book. I really liked their like chapters and their romance, but overall, like if you like Pretty Little Liars, if you like drama, then I would recommend checking it out. It was fun, it was entertaining. So next I read a thriller. This is actually a new release. It just came out like a few weeks ago. It is The Teacher by Frida McFadden. Everyone's favorite book talk thriller girly. How do I even explain this book? Honestly, I don't want to explain this. I think you should just go into this blind. I wouldn't even read the synopsis. Just know that it mostly follows a girl named Addie who is in high school. She's 17, I think. And last year, apparently, she had an inappropriate relationship with a teacher. And that's all you need to know, I think, going in. But yeah, it's shocking. It's got different twists and turns. There are 2, like, I feel like major twists at the end. And I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I feel like I would have given it like a 4. But the last twist, like in in the epilogue, like the last sentence of the book, literally, kind of threw me off a little bit. If you know, you know. I just don't understand how like that could have happened without people recognizing and knowing. Like, I don't know. Some of the twists didn't really make a lot of sense, but it was a fun ride, and I enjoyed it more than I liked The Housemaid, which I think is an unpopular opinion. There's definitely some weird shit going on, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun, fast-paced thriller, so quick to read. I finished it in like a day and a half, and yeah, 3.5 stars. Next, I picked up Vengeful by B.E. Schwab. This is the sequel to Vicious, and that was a 5-star read that I had last month. I loved Vicious so much, and I still love that book, so I was very excited to pick up the sequel, Vengeful. This book follows the same characters as Vicious, but with 2 new additions, Marcella and June, and they are kind of who we're following. And I feel like V. Schwab kind of set out to write Vicious, but like with more girl power, you know, with more women at the center. And again, that just sounds like amazing, right up my alley. So I was really excited going into it. Marcella can turn people into sand, basically, like just kill them. And June can like shapeshift into any other person, like disguise herself. So their powers seemed really cool. Like I was so excited going in. I started tabbing, but by like the halfway mark, I quickly realized that like this just wasn't as good. It was not as gripping as Vicious. I just think with the new characters, there are way too many plot lines, way too many storylines. The time jumps are going all over the place. And I feel like when I was reading Vicious, I could keep track of it. I feel like I knew where we were going. I was intrigued. I cared. But with Vengeful, I just didn't care about Marcella and June enough. And I couldn't keep track of the plotline. Like, it was just, yeah. I don't know. I feel like this was just kind of an unnecessary sequel. And that Vicious should have just stayed a standalone book. So, unfortunately, I only gave this 2 stars, just based on my personal enjoyment. But I highly still recommend reading Vicious. Just read it as a standalone, honestly. I feel like the cars outside are so loud. I really hope the audio doesn't sound like shit when I'm editing. And last, but certainly the least, because this is the least amount of pages I read, because I DNF'd it. This is my one and only DNF of the month. We Have Always Been You by QB Tyler. I'm so sad that I DNF'd this book because I have this gorgeous, stunning edition from Dark and Quirky. Like, it has sprayed edges and pages. It's autographed. There's art prints. Such a gorgeous edition, but unfortunately I could not deal with this romance. It just was not for me. Okay, so it follows Gabrielle and I don't even remember the guy's name. We'll just call him like Jacob. Gabrielle and Jacob. Is that his name? Oh no, his name's James. Okay, close enough. Gabrielle and James are adopted siblings, but James is like 12 years older than her. And you know, taboo step sibling romance is like not my genre. Okay, not my thing. But it was on my TBR. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a chance. We will persist. They're the weird step sibling trope. It's fine. But then I discovered shortly after that she was adopted when she was 2 years old, and so he has known her ever since she was 2. And he was essentially her guardian, like her parents, like their adopted parents were not very involved in raising her, and so like he had to do most of it, and like that's just where I draw the line. I cannot deal with romances where the man knew like parental figure. Absolutely not. It was just weird. And then you have to add the daddy kink. No. Sorry, I know it's not relaxing, but like that's how I felt. So I DNF'd it. I'm so sorry. If that's your bread and butter, I'm not trying to yuck your yum. It's fiction, obviously. These aren't real people. But if you want to get this stunning edition of the book, I will be selling it on my Bango books. So now, before we go, I want to talk about my current read and give a little update because it's the same current read from last month. I am slowly but surely making my way through Kingdom of Ash. The last book in the Throne of Glass series. But yeah, this book's like 900 something pages. So I could sit down and just like go through it and finish it, but because it is the last book in the series, I've just been taking it slowly in little chunks and really like savoring it and annotating it, as you can tell. So I'm still making my way through. Definitely gonna finish it in April. So, but yeah, I am currently on page 621. So started it in March. We're almost done, but that is my current read. So, that, my friends, is every single book that I have to talk with you about in today's wrap-up. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it relaxed you or entertained you. Don't forget to check out my Patreon down below if you want more ASMR content, or my Instagram, coming out on my other socials. Let's be friends. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. If you made it to the end of today's video, comment a lemon emoji. And hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.